Hello, welcome to I Need Living Conversations. I am in conversation with Sacred Blue Heron Woman. I'm Julian Katari, and we are from Adel Aloha I Need Now Living. This is our 101. This is Aloha I Need Now Living 101. Welcome to 101. 101st transmission we've done continuously without interruption, which is a great achievement. And we're on the third session of the 13 Meridians course. I call it a course. I call it a journey. I can call it a review, a channeling as well. I feel it as a channeling of of this wisdom from the ancient Chinese about the rivers, as you call them, the rivers of energy that flow through your body. So welcome everyone, and here we go with the third session on 13 meridians.
Yeah. Well, good evening from sunny, perfect weather, Oklahoma. Sorry, Julian. You just need to come to Oklahoma this time of year because it's just perfect.
Right.
Crystal clear blue skies, moderate temperatures, just perfect.
Not bad, yeah.
Anyway, so we stopped with bladder 30, the acupuncture point, bladder 30 or acupressure point last week, which is a very important point, right? It's that point where the anesthesiologist or the ER doctor puts their needle for spinal cord to test for to get spinal cord fluid, right? If you go to the ER at least in the US, with the worst headache of your life, you're going to have a spinal tap. That's where they put that. If your life jing isn't strong enough, a doctor puts a needle in that spinal cord, in that bladder 30, you're going to die instantly. That's a life point. Doesn't matter how healthy you are. If your energy isn't strong, a doctor puts his or her needle in there, you're going to die.
And that was a thrilling part of all this wisdom, knowing that it's how and you know, I've seen a lot that some doctors have even I've seen that for the teachers that teach acupuncture, they promote a lot their courses to doctors that already have like a specific a field. And so it's intriguing to see how you can combine two things when sometimes they are completely just apart or turned around. Like in this case that you mentioned at that point, that it makes people kind of kill them. It kind of kills them, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same goes. That's where the anesthesiologist puts the needle for epidurals and spinal anesthesia. So if you're a woman going into labor and your life energy isn't well supplied, you're gonna die and your baby's gonna live. You go into surgery to have a procedure done, the anesthesiologist puts a needle there to do it under spinal. If your life energy, if your cord to heaven isn't well intact, you're gonna die. That's the bottom line.
Wow. And then,
so
yeah. Keep going, because I'm going to just go on tangents, so I don't want to do that. So
yeah. So let's move on to bladder 31. It's called the upper bone hole. It's the side of a connecting vessel that communicates with the kidney and bladder channels. So now we're starting the journey of these bone holes that connect. Remember, I said a few months ago, in the sacrum, there's 8 holes. They're called the immortal caves in our sacrum. And this pelvic bone right back here, there's 8 holes that are called the immortal caves. So these next points connect with those immortal holes, and they're on each side there. So we're only going to address 4 points because there's 4 holes on each side of the sacrum, on each side of the spinal cord. So that's bladder 31. It's the first opening, first hole. It's in just below 1 inch below the lumbar bone in the depression on each side of the spine. So, and then 32 is called the second bone hole. It's the second opening. Bladder 33 is called the central bone hole. It's the third opening. And it's called central because it's the meeting point of the bladder, liver, and gallbladder channels. And then we have bladder 34, which is the lower bone hole. It's the fourth opening. So we get in 4 points on both sides of the sacrum, we get all 8 immortal caves. Bladder 35 is called the meeting of the yang, or the hub disinhibitor, because qi from the bladder and governing channels are present at this point, and it's on either side of the tailbone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my cords are, after we had a huge, about a month ago, a huge storm. I think my cords are all screwed because my computer just tried to shut down. Okay, bladder 36 is called the support. It's located at the junction of the legs and the trunk of the body. It derives its name support because it bears the weight of and supports the upper body. So it's in the crease right below the buttock and above the inner face of the thigh. Bladder 37 is called the gate of abundance, and it's located in the abundant flesh on the back of the upper leg, and it's approximately in the center of the back face of the upper leg, 6 inches below the support, below bladder 36. Bladder 38 is called the superficial cleft. This point is found with the knee flexed, and it's 1 inch above bladder 39, which is coming. So bladder 39 is called the bend yang. It's the lower uniting point of the triple burner channel. It's 6 inches below bladder 36 support in the popliteal crease. So the popliteal crease is that crease at the back of your knee. And that's a very generous 6 inches if we're going, that's a very short person if we're going from that. That's a very short Chinese person if we're going from, it's only 6 inches from the crease of the buttocks at the top of the thigh to the crease of the popliteal. Bladder 40 is called the bend middle. It's a uniting earth point, and it's at the center of the popliteal crease, and it clears blood and drains heat from the body. Bladder 41 is the attached branch. That's what it's called. It's the first point on the second line of the bladder channel. So we're going back up to the spine now, because remember, the bladder channel comes down right beside the spine, and then it branches out and comes down also right beside the spine, but 3 inches out from the spine. So this is the first point on that 3 inches out point. So it's below the second vertebrae on the inner border of the shoulder blade, 3 inches either side of the spine. So the next several points are all going to be 3 inches to the side of the spine, out from the spine. Bladder 42 is called the Po door because the Po is our soul that is stored in our lungs and our large intestines. And this point is beside bladder 13, below the third vertebrae. Bladder 43 is called Gao Huang Shu. And that's the heart area. It's just below the heart. Just below the fourth vertebrae, just above the fifth, and 3 inches out from the spine. Bladder 44 is called Spirit Hall. The heart stores the spirit, and it's beside the heart shoe point, bladder 15, in the depression 3 inches either side of the spine. So bladder 45 is Yeezy. Numerous texts say that when this point is palpated firmly, the person will put forth a easy sound, meaning it's supposed to hurt. And like I told you, I have a friend who just had a chiropractor fuck with that point, and it's totally disrupted his energy field.
Yeah.
I've asked for ancient wisdom on what the importance of this point is, but this tells me this point is very importantly that it needs to get that reaction of easy and be left alone.
Where exactly is this?
It's just below the sixth lumbar spinal vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae. So right between the shoulder blades.
Okay. Going from
Right below the, pretty much straight back from your heart and one vertebrae below it. And I can tell you that's where I have felt for years like I have a block of wood sitting there. And I've one of Dr. Bieldo's teachers, she did some shamanic healing with me, and it never cleared that. That's why I'm saying there's something very important that this point needs to hurt, and it can't be fucked with.
Wow.
Without fucking our energy around. Sorry, just I don't know of any other way to say it. To be blunt, that blunt with it, right. Because it's important. So then, bladder 46 is called the diaphragm pass. It's diaphragm shoe point that we went through last week, below the seventh vertebrae. Bladder 47 is called the Hun gate. The Hun are wood spirits, are air spirits. They're stored in the liver, and they're said to enter the body and leave the body through this point. Again, it's located to the side of the liver point. And then bladder 48 is called the Yang head rope. It's related to the gallbladder. So this pair of points is the uppermost representation of the bowel, of a bowel on the bladder channel. The viscera, which are the organs, are yin, and the bowels are yang. These points resemble the head rope of a fishing net. That's why it's called the head rope. So it's in the depression, 3 inches to the side of the spine below the 10th vertebrae, 10th thoracic vertebrae. Bladder 49 is called the reflection abode. It's to the side of the spleen shoe points, and the spleen stores the faculty of reflection, the virtue of being able to reflect. So that's why it's called the reflection abode. Bladder 50 is called the stomach granary. Since the stomach is termed the granary organ, this point is located to the side of the stomach shoe point, right at the bottom of the thoracic vertebrae. So now we're into the lumbar vertebrae. Bladder 51 is called the Huang gate. The Huang area is below the heart, and this point relieves the tension in the area below the heart. Bladder 52 is called the will chamber or palace of essence because the kidneys store our will. That's why, and the kidneys are right below that 30, that jade ring, that white jade ring point. So if you have no willpower and someone sticks a needle in there, you're gonna die. I can't emphasize that enough. Bladder 53 is called the bladder Huang point. It's beside the bladder shoe point, and it's also related to the womb. Bladder 54 is called the sequential limit. This is the last point on that outer branch, 3 inches from the spine before the channel now runs back down the back of the leg again. So it's the lower limit of these sequence points. Bladder 55 is called Yang Union. It's located just below the uniting point, which was back up here at 43 or something like that. 41, something like that. It's situated just below the popliteal crease, where an internal branch of the bladder channel joins the main channel. So it's 3 inches actually below the crease of the knee, the popliteal crease. Bladder 56 is called sinew support. It's located in the upper gastrocnemius muscle, that calf muscle. It truly provides sinew support as it's located below the 2 sinews at the back of the knee. This point relieves the cramps of that muscle. So it's below 55 and 7 inches above the heel. So I'm going to say it's right in the, and you see that gastroc muscle best in women who wear high heels constantly because it gets very developed. And you see that where it comes up, that point right in the middle of that is that bladder 56. Bladder 57 is called mountain support or fish belly. So the gastrocnemius muscles can be seen to resemble a mountain. And so this point is located in a position that supports the weight of that mountain. It also divides at this point, creating an indentation that resembles a Chinese character for man. So it's the man bearing the weight of the mountain. So maybe that point is actually bladder 57 and 56 is higher. But they're both kind of right in there. So bladder 58 is called taking flight or flying yang. This is the connecting point of the bladder channel to the kidney channel and the qi leaps from the yang to the inside of the leg here. So it takes flight. And after this point is needled, people who are suffering from leg pain are now able to run freely or take flight. So you find it by moving obliquely out and down from the mountain support, and it's in a depression 7 inches above the outer ankle bone. Bladder 59 is called instep yang, and for anyone watching this and seeing Julian blip in and out with internet issues, Mercury is retrograde, so we thank you, Mercury, for keeping our technology going while we do this.
It's going. It's just little flips.
Bladder 59 is called instep yang, and it's just like what it says, above the instep. It's 3 inches above below the outer ankle bone. Towards the instep. So bladder 60 is called Kunlun Mountain because the outer ankle bone resembles a mountain. So it's the reason for this name. This point is behind the ankle bone in a depression above the heel bone where a pulsating vessel can be felt. I have yet to feel the pulsating vessel behind that point, but I can find it with an ultrasound. I had to many times as a nurse. We had these little like pencil point ultrasounds that we could find pulses like that with. Bladder 61 is called subservient visitor. So in the Chinese culture, when a visitor of inferior rank arrived at the palace, he would have to kneel in front of the king, and his hands would fall to the point where this point is located. It's in the depression below the heel bone. It's on the bottom of the foot and is found only with the foot arched. Bladder 62 is called the extending vessel or ghost road, and this is a confluence point of the 8 extraordinary vessels that we got into first before the meridians. And it's the 5th point of the 13 ghost points, and it's on the depression behind the outer ankle bone. Bladder 63 is, so if you see the energy kind of really spirals around our ankles. There's kind of no rhyme or reason to how these points, it just spirals right around our ankles.
Right.
Bladder 63 is called metal gate. This is the cleft point of the bladder channel, and it's slightly behind the outer ankle bones in front of 62. Bladder 64 is called the capital bone. It's a source point, and it's on the outer side of the foot below the large metatarsal bone. Bladder 65 is called the bundle bone. This is the stream shoe or wood point, spring point of the bladder channel. This joint is at the base of the small toe, and that was one time called the bundle point because it appears to be the place where the foot bones are bundled together. It's on the outer side of the small toe in the depression behind the base joint. Bladder 66 is called the valley passage. This point is near the end of the bladder channel and at the beginning of the kidney channel. After qi passes through 67, which is the end of the bladder channel, and kidney 1, it arrives at blazing valley, which would be kidney 2. So this point, 66, is a passage to that blazing valley, kidney 2. And it's the spring yang, or water point of this channel. It's on the outer side of the small toe in the depression at the base of in the front of the base joint. So bladder 67 is reaching yin, and this is the last point of the bladder channel. It's on the outer side of the small toe at the corner of the nail. So now we're into the kidney meridian, where it originates on the sole of your foot, right at the ball of the foot, right under that ball, right? If that's the ball of the foot, it's right there.
Okay. What? The kidney meridian?
Kidney meridian. Yeah, that's where it originates.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are these meridians, do they go through both of the legs and arms,
yes.
or just one of them?
Both of the legs.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And arms. If there are in their arms, they're in both the arms. If they're in the leg, they're in both the legs.
Okay, awesome.
So it travels up the sole of the foot to the arch, where it becomes external to come up and loop behind the inner ankle bone, and then it comes up the inside of the legs to the groin, where it enters the body and connects to the base of the spine. This internal branch then travels up through the lumbar vertebrae to move up into the physical kidneys, and then it comes external once more in the lower abdomen and travels up to end at the collarbone, right here. This is a point on the EFT, the emotional freedom technique. This is the last point on the kidney channel, right here.
Okay, here on the throat, here.
Yeah. The internal branch continues to ascend to travel through several organs, including the liver and the lungs, before it concludes at the base of the tongue. So your tongue is connected to your kidneys. It helps govern the quality of energy and restore the energy. It helps to strengthen the back and knees, as well as to draw in a stronger connection to the vibrational force of the planet. The kidneys grasp the qi as the residents of yin and yang. They also rule the bones, the teeth, and the adrenal glands. So the Jingjin, the tendon riverbed that houses this channel, originates on the underside of the little toe and covers the whole bottom of the foot to the heel and up to the that inner ankle bone, and then continues up the inside of the leg to the tailbone, where that tendon riverbed ends. So kidney point number 1 is called gushing spring. This is the weljing or wood point of this channel. The sole of the foot is the lowest place of the body, which is analogous to earth. So it's a place where water gushes forth from the earth as a spring. And so kidney 1 is located in the earth position at the start of the kidney channel, as it's the gushing spring of the body. It's in the depression in the heart of the sole, as felt when the leg is stretched and the foot bent and the toes curled. Kidney 2 is the blazing valley, or dragon in the abyss, or dragon in the spring. This is the spring yin or fire point of this channel, and it connects to the earth's crux point, which was spleen 8. The name dragon in the abyss is the reminder that this is a fire point, because dragons breathe fire, right, on the water channel. It's in the depression below the large bone that lies in front of the inner ankle. So below that inner ankle bone. Kidney 3 is called the Great Ravine. It's the stream shu or earth point of this channel, and it's a source point of qi also. The narrow depression where the point is located, along with the fact of this being a water channel, makes the name ravine appropriate. It's behind the inner ankle bone in the depression above the heel bone, where a pulsating vessel can be felt. Again, we're circling the bladder channel, spiraled around the outer ankle bone. The kidney channel is spiraling around the inner ankle bones. Kidney 4 is called the large goblet. This point connects the kidney channel to the bladder channel. The kidneys are said to store essence, and their related organ, the bladder, holds the fluids until they are released from the body. So the goblet represents the storing function of both the kidneys and the bladder. It's at the back of the heel between the 2 sinews above the large bone. Kidney 5 is called water spring. This is the cleft point of the kidney channel, so it's located in the cleft where water chi collects. It's 1 inch below the great ravine, kidney 3, on the inner ankle bone. So as you see, it's not, again, there's no rhyme or reason. It just kind of skips and spirals around the ankle at this point. Kidney 5 is called the water spring, and this is a cleft point of the kidney channel. So it's located in the cleft where the water chi collects. It's 1 inch below the great ravine, kidney 3, below the inner ankle bone. Kidney 6 is called the shining sea. This is also a confluence point of the 8 extraordinary vessels. It's next to Blazing Valley, kidney 2, which is a fire point. So the brightness of fire gives the point the name shining sea. Kidney 7 is called Recover Flow Glorious Lang or Outer Live. This is the river jing or middle point of this channel. It reduces perspiration, promoting the flow of sweat. Well, it can also stop sweating. The points below this on the kidney channel, where kidney 3 to 6, make a circular path behind the ankle bone. After this point, kidney 7, the chi resumes its straight path up the leg. It stops spiraling. So kidney 8 is called the intersection reach, and after this point, the kidney channel proceeds to intersect with the liver and the spleen channels. So at spleen 6, it could be said that from this point, the channel is reaching toward that intersection. It's 2 inches above the inner ankle bone, between the bone and the sinew. Kidney 9 is called the guest house or calf intestine or leg belly. So we move upward and outward from kidney 8 into the belly of the calf. Kidney 10 is called the yin valley. It's a uniting water point. It's located between 2 tendons on the inner side of the knee. The depression between the 2 tendons can be seen to resemble a valley. So that's the point for the name. Kidney 11 is called pubic bone. We're jumping huge distances now with this. So we just jumped from the knee to the pubic bone. 1 inch on either side of the center line of the abdomen on the pubic bone in a depression. Did you know the pubic bone has a depression? I didn't. Kidney 12.
We're touching around.
Yeah, gotta go find that depression.
Yeah.
So from this point forward, every point's gonna be 1.5 inches out from the midline of the abdomen. So out from the line of the navel, basically. So kidney 12 is great manifestation. This point shares the exuberant yin chi of the penetrating vessel, which intersects the kidney channel at this point. In females, it's close to the womb where essence gathers. So it's 1 inch above kidney 11, either side of the midline. Kidney 13, chi hole or infant store or uterine gate. This point is the location of the manifestation of kidney chi, and the kidney rules absorption, and this point is located close to where the absorption takes place. So there's a point on either side of the midline. So the infant's point is on the right, the uterine gate is on the left. That's 1 inch above number 12. Go figure. Kidney 14 is called fourfold fullness. This point is good to relieve distension and fullness of the abdomen. It's 1 inch above 13. Kidney 15 is called central flow. This name reminds us that this point is located in the center of the body at a place where kidney chi flows into the penetrating vessel, one of the 8 extraordinary meridians. It's also where water chi flows down into the bladder. So it's the place where underwear hangs on the body.
Okay.
If you want that point, just find where the underwear line is. Kidney 16 is called Huang Shu. The kidney channel passes through the abdomen and then crosses up to the Wang area, that area below the heart. Kidney 17 is called the Shang Bend. It's on the abdomen at the place where the large intestines bend. Kidney 18 is called Stone Pass. Stone may imply a blockage or tightness. It can also reference the function of this point in relieving the imbalance of a blockage or tightness. Kidney 19 is called the yin metropolis. Remember, we're just going up the abdomen, 1.5 inches to the side of the midline here. Kidney 19 is called yin metropolis. A metropolis is a gathering place, and this point is just to the side of another of the central channel, one of the 8 extraordinary meridians. It's regarded as a place where the chi of the earth phase gathers. Kidney 20 is called open valley. Large areas of flesh are called valleys, so it's in the valley formed by the muscles of the central abdomen. Kidney 21 is called dark gate. This is the exit point of the penetrating vessel, which is one of the 8 extraordinary, which after passing through this point disperses over the chest. Kidney 22 is called corridor walk. This point marks the advance of the kidney channel up into the rib cage. So now we're right at the bottom of the ribs. The points will now proceed stepwise through across the ribs and into up here. So from kidney 20, 22 at the bottom of the ribs, we're coming up here to kidney 27. Kidney 23 is called spirit seal. This point is located in the region of the heart and it's called spirit seal because the heart stores the spirit and the heart relies on kidney water for nourishment. Kidney 24 is called spirit returns. It reminds us that it's near the heart. Kidney 25 is called spirit storehouse. The yin spirit of the 5 viscera, the organs, are transformed by heart fire into spirit and stored in the heart. So it's 1 inch above 24. Kidney 26 is called the lively center. It's located where the heart fire flourishes. It may also be considered a reference to the center of the chest, which is the seat of emotions. Kidney 27 is called the shoe mansion. This is the last point on the kidney channel. It's right here where the breastbone, the sternum, and the collarbone meet. And they say that if you're feeling really tired, this is the point to stimulate. So now we go on to the pericardium meridian, which originates within the physical organ of the heart, where it connects to the membranous sac that's called the pericardium that encases the heart and protects the heart. An internal branch goes deep inside the body, and a second branch moves to the chest where it emerges beside the nipple. This external branch then crosses from the nipple over to the armpit and down the middle of the arm and off the middle finger. Its main function is to protect the heart from excess heat. It governs the blood and mind with the heart meridian, affecting blood and circulation and relationships. The riverbed that runs below it, its Jingjin, originates on the palm side of the middle finger and goes up the middle of the arm, the armpit, and spreads all over the chest. So pericardium 1 is called the celestial pool. This point is located in a type of depression, which is often called a pool because chi may collect there just as water collects to form pools. It's 3 inches below the armpit on the arm. 1 or 2 inches, it's right here. 1 or 2 inches behind the nipple, right in here. And it is sore. When you find it, it's more than likely, especially in women who wear underwire bras. That point is going to be extreme.
I call them camping tents.
Yeah.
They're awful. You shouldn't wear them.
No. Pericardium 2 is called the celestial spring. This is 2 inches below the armpit hole. So we just jumped from over here beside the nipple all the way down here. Okay. Pericardium 3 is called the marsh at the bend. This is a uniting water point, which is reflected by the word marsh. The location of this point is at the crook of the elbow, accounting for at the bend. In addition, marshes are often found at the mouths of rivers. So the point reminds us that this is a uniting point where the flow of chi is likened to a river uniting with the sea. It's on the inner side of the elbow where a pulsating vessel can be felt. So somewhere right in there. Pericardium 4 is called the cleft or Z gate. It's the cleft point of this channel, and it's at a cleft formed by 2 ligaments. It's below pericardium 3 and 5 inches above the wrist. So we're jumping huge distances now with these, as opposed to the bladder, who went 1 inch, right? The bladder and kidney went 1 inch by 1 inch. Pericardium 5 is called the intermediary courier or ghost road, and this is the riverging or metal point of this channel, and the 9th of the 13 ghost points. Again, I still haven't found out, that I haven't been given the information what ghost points are. This name tells us it's between 2 sinews. It's 3 inches up from the wrist, so it's somewhere. It's right. You'll feel the sinews, right? So it's like right in there. Pericardium 6 is called inner pass. This point connects the pericardium channel to the triple burner channel and is also a confluence point of the 8 extraordinary channels. The word inner has 2 meanings here. The first is that it's the inner surface of the arm, where it is located. The second implies it lies in between, describing the location of the pericardium channel between the heart and lung channels on the arm. It's between the 2 sinews, 2 inches up from the wrist. So we've got pericardium 5 and pericardium 6 right in there. Pericardium 7 is called the great mound or ghost heart. This is the stream shoe or earth point of this channel, and it's also a source point, the 4th of 13 ghost points. It's on the inner aspect of the arm, just behind the wrist, and the heel of the hand resembles 2 large mounds, giving this point its name. In addition, a mound is a gathering point of earth, right? Lots of earth piled up there. Pericardium 8 is called the place of toil. This is the spring yin or water point of this channel. It's located right there in the center of the palm, where you get a blister when you use a shovel too much, right?
Mm-hmm. I get other blisters, not just that one. I got a bunch of others too.
Yeah. So pericardium 9 is called the central hub. This is the last point on the pericardium channel. This is the welging or wood point. It's on the tip of the middle finger. Mm-hmm. So when you give somebody the finger, you are sending heart energy at them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, actually is. So the triple warmer or triple burner or warmer or heater meridian originates at the tip of the ring finger, flows across the back of the hand and up the middle of the arm to the inner elbow. So it comes up the backside of the arm, comes into the elbow and comes up this way and over inner elbow, then back to travel up the middle of the upper arm to the shoulder. It crosses the shoulder, ascends the neck, circles at the ears, and ends at the corner of the eyes. So when in the EFT, that's where you're getting the end of the triple burner channel right there.
Okay.
It is not represented by a physical organ. It has an important job to do that because it doesn't have an organ, and its job is to circulate liquid energy throughout the organs. It distributes the source chi that is produced by the kidneys. It governs the relationship between all the various organs. And the upper burner, warmer, distributes chi from the diaphragm up. The middle burner delivers chi to the bodily areas between the diaphragm and the navel, and the lower burner transports chi below the navel and is associated with reproduction and elimination. Mm-hmm. Its tendon riverbeds, again, starts at the end of the ring finger, goes up the outside of the arm, up the neck to the lips and the eyes and over the head. So triple burner 1 is called the passage hub. This is the Welging metal point of this channel, and the word passage reflects the function of the triple burner as a conduit of passage of qi from the upper to the lower body. This point is located on the tip of the ring finger at the corner of the nail. Triple burner 2 is called humor gate or armpit gate. Why it's called armpit? Because it's not anywhere near the armpit. I don't know. It's the spring yang water point of this channel. And since the triple burner is responsible for water distribution in the 3 burners, this point is especially important. It's in the depression between the ring finger and the little finger. So I guess that joint could be called an armpit, right? Gotta stretch the imagination there. Triple burner 3 is called central islet. It's the stream shoe or wood point of this channel, and the name gives us a reason to think of a small island between 2 bodies of water. It's in the depression located between the base joints of the ring finger and little finger, so it's right in here. So it would be it would be an island between the two metatarsal bones there. Triple burner 4 is called yang pool or diverging yang. It's the source point for the triple burner channel. In the landscape of the body, the spot where this point is located resembles a pond. It's located on the yang aspect of the wrist, so it's a yang pool. It's in a depression on the back of the wrist, just down from still on the back of the hand, I think. Triple burner 6 is called the branch ditch or the flying tiger. It's the river jing or wood point. It can be found in the gully-like depression between the sinews of the forearm. Because the triple burner helps to regulate water flow in the body, this depression is like a water ditch. It's on the outer face of the arm, 3 inches back from the wrist, in a depression between the 2 bones. Triple burner 7 is the cleft point of this channel where the qi of the triple burner channel collects. It's in the space between the bones, 3 inches behind the wrist. And that's where we're going to stop tonight. There's 21 points on this channel, but that's where we're going to stop.
Okay. So how many more?
We have to finish the triple burner and then the gallbladder, which is a long meridian, also long meridian, and the liver meridian is a shorter. It only has 14 points.
Okay, that's and how many other channels do we have?
That's it. Those are the last of the channels.
Oh, the whole channels, yeah. But so we have points on this current channel that are pending for next class?
Yeah, it's 14 more points on this one.
Okay. So there's still like for 2 more sessions?
1 more.
Okay.
We'll get through the finish the triple burner next week along with the gallbladder and the liver.
Right. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun.
So, yeah.
So I guess well, we'll leave people with that suspense of this not being finished and not being over, and so they can continue in the next video in the next session. And a lot more things are coming, so I want to invite people to always join us and tell them that our hearts are always open, our minds are always open, and the path is always open for someone that wishes to follow it or to walk it, not to follow it, to walk it. So should I cut the live stream with that?
Yeah,
are we done?
Sure. Yeah, we're done.
So I'll send you lots of love, everyone, and see you soon.